Daniel, let's begin by talking about domestic borders. Australia is all but closed right now to all or parts of New South Wales due to the outbreak in that state. How big of a blow has this been to tourism?
Good morning, Danica. Well, it was certainly a blow in the spirit that it was lifted when the borders opened a couple of months earlier, and then to go backwards, that was a very difficult situation to absorb for tourism operators, both operationally, they had geared up, they had employed staff, but also emotionally, really. You know, when you're on a path to recovery and you suddenly set back again, that is a difficult situation to deal with.
And just how big of a tourism window is the Greater Sydney area to Queensland?
Well, interstate tourism in 2019 contributed $10 billion to the state of Queensland, or spread over a month. That makes about 800 million a month, I suppose, on average. But over Christmas, that would be bigger normally. And out of that 800 million over a month, or 10 billion a year, I'd say about 30 or 40% would be out of Greater Sydney, probably. So it's a significant amount.
We've seen rolling border closures throughout the year. What's the cost?
Well, the cost is obviously quite significant. There's a lot of bookings that have been cancelled. On the other hand, obviously, Queenslanders also are more reluctant to travel interstate themselves, so many of them have taken advantage of what's on offer here. So over the Christmas period, many operators in Queensland reporting strong business. They are pretty happy with the way things are going. But of course, we're looking to the longer term, and we're certainly relying on the borders to open eventually, to get our business going, to get our state going. We're such a tourism-dependent state. We get so much benefit from travellers, both interstate, intrastate and international. We have to fill some of those gaps if we want to get this state going.
And how can the industry recover, Daniel? We've seen National Cabinet, for example, has been unable to come to a decision on a national hotspot. Some states and territories have refused to sign up. We've seen rolling border closures, as we mentioned. How can the industry move forward with so much uncertainty?
Well, it is difficult, Anika. There's no doubt about it. Uncertainty is the enemy of our industry. We need consumers that are confident about their future, about their safety when they travel. We know that's very important. But we also need operators that can actually line up the staff, line up the resources. So it is a really, really challenging situation for us, for everybody, really. But tourism finds itself in the front line of a situation like this, when so much of our business is really closed down, shut down. Having said all of that, we're obviously fortunate. Your reports just a minute ago about what's happening in the UK and in Europe generally. We're obviously grateful that we can at least move about and get some business going whilst we are in this situation. And we have at least a domestic tourism industry that hopefully will recover strongly, especially when we can deal with the hotspots. And you're right, we need some more clarity about how this is being dealt with each time. And we obviously encourage a national approach. We encourage a coordinated approach that allows us all to see how we deal with the next case, the next outbreak, and how we can avoid the worst.
What's the outlook for 2021?
Well, that is a crystal ball question, Danica. I think we all hope for a better year than 2020. There's no doubt about that. And presumably with the vaccine in train now, with the vaccine increasingly available globally, and with the increasingly sophisticated measures that are being put in place by state and territory governments, then hopefully we can have a recovery that takes shape over the first half of the year domestically and then internationally. But look, it is a credit to what has been happening in Australia, really, that we have avoided the worst so far, and we hope to continue that we all work together for this.
Fingers crossed for a better 2021. Daniel Gschwind, appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Danica.